All right, you ready to jam?
Sir.
I'm here with Max Willet. This guy runs the maxed out sales team. He's got 200 sales agents. He's done $100 million in revenue this past year. Max, I want to just open by welcoming you and complimenting you on the suit. This guy is always in a three-piece suit every single time I've seen him, which has been like 5 to 10 times, decked out in a three-piece suit, middle of the summer. Props to you. You look great.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here and just talk with you today, get to know each other better, and just talk about what we're doing in the community and how many people we can reach and help.
Same here. And we're both in the local Tampa Bay community. Max is over in Tampa. I'm here in St. Pete. It's a small but growing entrepreneurial community. So
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to have connected with you and be a part of this. And I know we've got some mutual connections. So it's an exciting time to be in Tampa Bay.
It definitely is. The city's growing. I've been here 15 years now, and I've just seen the ascent that it's been on, especially in recent years. And I had some insight to you through social media. Obviously, Otter PR, big name out there. You're doing big things, so kudos on that. And just some of the events, obviously, RiseCon coming up, podcast there. That was influential, no doubt. I know we had some commonalities there. And with people in the community. People speak extremely highly of you. I know you've had a decorated past in your career as well, so definitely want to applaud you there. And thank you for having me on the show for us to talk today.
Thank you. I appreciate everything that you said. Yeah, I've got an interesting past. Sounds like you do too.
I do. I come from the hospitality world, man. I have been a bartender for a decade prior to the career I'm in now in the sales industry in the private health insurance space. So definitely humble beginnings. And I think a lot of the experiences and skills that came through a hospitality industry actually prepared me very well to succeed where I'm at now in terms of building rapport, in terms of connecting with people. It's really about relationships, right?
100%.
It's about how you make people feel, the information you can pull out of people to understand their situation, and how you can help provide them value and what is really important to them. So I think in a hospitality setting, I learned some of those things and learned how to network and connect with all different sorts of people in different socioeconomic backgrounds and different levels of affluence. And moving into the space I'm in now in private health insurance, we help people all over America get into the best position with their coverage in terms of their needs, in terms of their benefits, their budget, based on what's important to them, medications, doctors, pre-existing conditions, things they need coverage for, and really help people understand as advisors what is available to them. A lot of times people not really sure what's out there and how to get into the best position, and that's what we do is just help them shop, help them be educated to make the best decision for them. And, for where I'm at, starting as an agent coming in from a hospitality background, didn't have the most confidence.
Right.
Didn't have the most belief in myself. I had a bit of a limited mindset, if you will.
Yeah.
Wasn't really looking for growth or change or challenge or opportunity or anything of that nature because I was kind of comfortable.
What were you doing in hospitality?
I was a bartender, local restaurant.
Where? What was it called?
Eddie V's.
Oh, cool. I love Eddie V's.
Eddie V's steak and seafood house. I was on the opening staff of that in 2014.
Nice.
And I developed a lot of regulars, and I felt like I was doing it at a high level, earning about 6 figures in that position.
As a bartender, you're
As a
doing
bartender.
6 figures.
Just about.
I feel like that's comfortable. That's comfortable to a point where I know most people probably wouldn't say, I'm not happy with this. I'm not satisfied with this. Most people would be satisfied with that.
I was, and I was working 30-something hours. I was kind of living a free-flowing life, I thought.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable, and that
Nice
was...
restaurant, meeting pretty girls.
Yep.
What came along? What changed?
So what changed, and I'll tell you about the setting. It was a Friday night. It was about a little over 4 years ago. I was tending bar at Eddie V's, and there was a group of people that were in there waiting for their table, and they were getting some appetizers and drinks from me at the bar. And they were a group of people within the sales force, within my team, that I joined in this region in Tampa Bay. And they were taking out some of the top agents and producers to incentivize them for their performance the previous month. And I didn't know that at the time. We just started conversing a little bit. I was giving them good service. They liked my energy or personality, whatever it may be. And they're in the business of recruiting to build their sales force, of course, as I am now.
Right.
And they offered me an opportunity to come in and hear a group information about their company and see if it was a good fit to work together. And like I had referenced, I wasn't really looking for change. I wasn't looking for growth. I was kind of comfortable. So I appreciated their offer, but I declined. And they went having their dinner. I went back to making my drinks. That was that. Over the following couple months, I started to see this group of leaders coming in month over month with more agents that were winning.
Yep.
And these people are young and hungry, and they got nice watches and keychains and dresses and suits and great energy. And I was inquisitive as to what these people are really doing, and I wanted to learn more. So I did come in and meet with them for a group informational and see what their company was about. And not only the income opportunity, of course, and we can talk about passive residual income. That was one of the most attractive things in that opportunity, but also helping and serving the community and getting people in the best position with their coverage, a lot of purpose behind what your actual work entails, on top of the people you're doing it with and the culture. And that's something that really attracted me, because I'm looking at the leaders that are running the show as to, are these people that I can resonate with, that I want to look up to, that I want to follow suit as to what they're doing to help me become successful and change my life. And when I took a moment to step back and think about these things, I really did agree that this would be a step that would be a challenge for me, but would be a great opportunity to grow. So I jumped in and went 110% in. And that's really when my life started to change, and going into an entrepreneurial, self-employed, running a business mindset, which was so different from the W-2.
You make as much as you're putting in.
Exactly.
Totally different scenario than you're showing up to work.
You get out of it exactly what you put into it, and at the end of the day, you look in the mirror as to whether you're successful or not, and that can be a challenge, and that can be scary to people out there, as it was to me.
Right.
I knew no one in the industry. I'd never been on the phone. I'd never been in sales. I hadn't been on a computer in 10 years since college. I'd gone to University of Tampa and had a great experience there, and was looking to be a physical therapist, actually. I was studying exercise science and allied health undergrad there, graduated 2010, worked in a physical therapy clinic for a year after I finished school, where I had an internship my senior year. I liked helping athletes rehabilitate themselves. That's what initially got me into it. Being an athlete that has gone through multiple injuries to try to get back on the field, I had a lot of passion for sports and competition and wanted to help people develop. But I looked around to the people who are running the clinics as to what their lifestyles were, their earning potential was, and it's pretty limited, to be honest with you.
I experienced the exact same thing as a doctor working the family medicine clinic. Very fun. It's very true that you said that.
It's like you go back, you get a DPT, a doctorate of physical therapy, 3-year degree, you spend another how many tens of thousands, $100,000+ to go get that degree, and you can do one thing with it. It's not like an MBA where you could use it in multiple avenues.
Right.
So I decided, before jumping back into school, let me work at a clinic to see if this is something I want to do. And after a little bit of time, I realized it may not be the track for me at this time. And I was getting fast money in hospitality.
Yeah.
And I was living that little bit of a party life.
Yeah.
And it can hook you in there.
100%.
And making quick money. And I got from clubs and bars to fine dining, and got a little bit more balance there than the late nights, right?
Right.
But this opportunity that has led me here did find me.
Yeah, that's a good tidbit of knowledge too. You thought you wanted to be a physical therapist. You went and worked in a clinic.
Mm-hmm.
You looked around at where that road would take you, and you realized that it was nowhere good.
Right.
So that's what I recommend everybody in the medical field do too. Go shadow, go see what it's like, and go think, do you want to be that person in 10 years?
Tell me about your come up, man. You were in dermatology, is that correct?
Family medicine.
Family medicine.
Graduated medical school, did a year of residency.
Okay.
Was running multiple businesses during residency, so we were butting heads the entire time.
Okay.
And was making more than all of the doctors that I was working with as a first-year resident.
Wow.
So eventually, I had a problem with my program. They gave me the choice whether to shut down my social media and my businesses and focus on residency, or go do my thing in business. And it was a pretty easy decision because I was already successful.
Right.
Now, coming back to your story, you were already making 6 figures as in hospitality. My guess is you took a massive pay cut going to this junior sales role where you didn't have any experience. Tell me about that transition.
You would think so. It starts that way because in the beginning you have to learn the skills.
Yeah.
You have to get familiar with the industry. You have to go through training and have to be mentored up a little bit from the people that are doing it. And I give kudos to the leaders and people that help me level up and learn. And I will always stay a student no matter what industry I'm in. There's always more to learn, even at the level I'm at now. But I came in extremely coachable and extremely hungry.
Yeah.
And those are 2 of the characteristics that I like to look at most when I'm attracting people to build with my sales force. Is
why I love hiring athletes.
Yes, right. And those are people that translate really well. People that are competitive, people that are hungry, disciplined, consistent. discipline and consistency, those are controllable things.
Yes.
And those are things many people get away from, and they may look at themselves as to why are they not where they want to be at this time in their life. And it's because maybe they're not doing the most. Maybe there's more things they can apply themselves to. There's different rooms they could be a part of. I mean, the power of association is real, right? Who you surround yourself with. And that's what I started to notice. I love the hospitality industry. That's where I came from. I was running an event planning and catering company as well at the time.
Cool.
That I was doing on my own with a lot of the more affluent clients, Tampa Bay Lightning, people like that, going into their homes doing catering, et cetera. But, realistically, when you get around entrepreneurial people, self-employed people that are going to get paid exactly what they're worth based on their performance, that helped me level up my game and my mindset. And most of what we do in this world, whether you're successful or not, is based on mindset, right? Skills are important. Skills can be taught, but the perspectives we have, the way we look at things, the growth mindsets we need to have to continue to ascend is extremely important.
I could argue that the level of skill is limited by your mindset. And I think that's one of the biggest variables for entrepreneurs. And my guess is, when you were a bartender and working in hospitality, you didn't always have the mindset of an entrepreneur, but you were an athlete. So I think that's an important variable there. Once you did get recruited out of Eddie V's and you went to train and you were hustling, you were learning how to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. What was that process like with the mindset shift? You're showing up to work as a bartender and now you're getting paid what you go out there and produce. What did you have to do? What was your mindset shift?
It was difficult. There was adversity. There was a learning curve. I wasn't the best in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And a lot of anything you want to be successful at is about belief. And as much as I believed in myself as being a successful athlete, being a scholar at UT and doing well, being successful in my own right in the hospitality industry, I was in a new world. Mm-hmm. And as much as I'm a confident person, I wasn't succeeding to the level I'd like early in my career. Mm. And you can go two ways with that. You can throw in the towel and say, this ain't for me. Or you can keep pushing and test that grit that really people that want to be successful entrepreneurs must encompass if they want to reach their highest heights, right? So I dug in a little bit and I looked in the mirror. I looked to my leaders and mentors and say, maybe this just isn't right for me. And they believed in me. And when you have people that are in positions of power that are doing well, that believe in you, that helps you believe in yourself and grow more too. And I pay that forward every day to people on my team that might, lack belief in themselves at that time, at that moment in their life. So those people definitely help me. And then it takes a couple small wins, Jay, to create momentum.
Right.
And I had a couple small wins and it turned into a couple more. And then we started to get the big wins. And then we started to move into not only personal production at extremely high level, helping a lot of individuals, families, and small businesses around this country get into the best position with their coverage, but starting to make a significant income, right? And it starts to build. And the residual income opportunity is something I want to discuss because I think it's overlooked sometimes, and how important and impactful it is to really generate wealth and generational wealth if you do it right.
100%.
Making commission, being paid based on your performance is great. I think people should get paid based on their performance. Even if someone's at a W-2 job, you have two employees. One works their butt off and does great work. One's kind of a slacker, kind of a Larry, just hanging out, and going through the motions. They're not providing the same value to the company they work for. The one that's doing the most should get compensated more.
Right. So once you start talking about different roles in a company, KPIs get very difficult.
Right.
We try and attach KPIs to everybody, but salespeople's are easy, right? How much are you bringing in? How many calls are you doing?
Right.
How much money are you generating?
Right.
The guy working in your IT department, who's just helping out people in your company. Sometimes he can, sometimes he can't. It's much harder to track.
It is.
But I agree with you. And you can attach a KPI and then motivate somebody by giving them bonuses for hitting their metrics,
right,
or going above and beyond.
Incentives, especially in a sales environment, are so important, and I'll come back to that in terms of the team build and how that's worked.
Yeah.
But in terms of where I was moving from a sales agent into seeing not only this money coming in as a commission level, but also the multiple streams, 6 streams of income that the opportunity that I'm a part of and can offer to others creates for people, really started to impact me with the residual. So, I'll talk to people when I'm doing group informationals now about what this opportunity is about. and talking about, giving an example of, someone that's selling a car, automobile sales. Imagine you sell that BMW, and not only do you get paid based on your performance with that commission, but imagine that client that bought the vehicle is going to pay a car note for life. And every month that they make a premium payment, you're going to get paid again in your sleep forever. And that is how this industry works. Because when you're ethically doing the right thing as an insurance agent and helping a family or individual get set up into the right product for their needs and budget,
Right.
3 entities win. The consumer wins. They get on the right type of product for what they need. The insurance company that's collecting premiums, of course, wins. And then the sales agent wins, not only doing right by somebody and helping them, but being paid based on their performance via commission, and also getting paid every month forever as long as the consumer has the product, right? So there's a lot of winning and going involved there when you do it the right way.
Place to be in. You want to set yourself up in a place where you can earn passive income. And we'll definitely chat about some of the reasons to go into insurance sales. Yep. Some of the reasons that the guys at Eddie V roped you in. I'm sure it was attractive. I'm excited to hear that pitch.
Yeah.
But I'd love to jump back to this story just quickly.
Yeah, sure.
You went from a bartender to a sales associate selling insurance. And now, I'm assuming you don't do any door-to-door insurance sales anymore.
No, and it's not door-to-door. It's all virtual. It's all over the phone from people that are actually looking for quotes.
Now you're a leader. You're training. You're recruiting.
Right. And that's where it started to shift, because I saw myself do it and saw that confidence in myself.
Yes.
And I said, I can translate this information and this ability onto other people because I've seen how much it's impacted my life. And that's really the fuel and passion that drives me, Jay, is helping other people develop to become the best version of themselves. So I initially, about 3.5 years ago, started my team with one person, which was me. Okay. And named the team Maxed Out. Definitely a little bit of a play on my name fitting there. But the thought behind that name is putting forth your full effort, your full energy to achieve your maximum potential, which is becoming the best version of yourself. And that's what we eat, sleep, and breathe and live every day. And we do the most, and we climb as high as we can in this world. That's the thought behind what we do, and help and serve as many people as we can in the process. So I started to find my niche here in leadership. I think the hospitality and athletic background catered to this, and helped me build, the skills to succeed in this realm. And it started small. It started with just me. I started to recruit, started to build. Definitely look at, the co-leaders and people around me that helped me level up in this process. And a lot of it is experience and mindset, and having some failures and having some blunders and things to learn from of how to be better. And now I pay those things forward to other people, so they don't maybe have to make some of those same mistakes that I made on growth track that I took through leadership. Year over year, we've grown exponentially, definitely bringing people in organically in the community, using Indeed as a platform to recruit. And now, as that's become a bit saturated over the years, definitely moving into a social media, branding, marketing, advertising space, ads and Crunch Fitness to bring people in. I definitely still using the Indeed platform as well. And all the agents and leaders that I've been able to work with and develop, them sharing the wealth and paying this forward to help people bring into the
200 agents, 300 agents?
I have about 220 agents right now.
Crazy.
220 agents, 15 leaders. And if I were to look at anything in my current body of work that I would hang my hat on as to my best accolades, it would be the leadership development. Putting 15 people in a position that they're succeed at an extremely high level, and they want to do it for the right reasons. No leader or agent, would ever be promoted to leadership based on their want to earn more money.
Right.
It is about helping other human beings develop. The byproduct is making significantly more money, but you need to do it for the right reasons, the right purpose, the right why.
And they're following you,
Yes.
which is a great display of your leadership.
Yes.
Let me ask you, were you the captain of your football team?
I was captains of teams. I have always been a natural born lead from the front type of person. And there's a difference between someone who's telling you what to do and someone who's getting in the trenches and rolling up their sleeves and putting in the work and leading from the front. And that's something I've always done. Coming from being a top personal producer in this industry myself, that's helped develop other ones as well that have came behind me. And one thing I'll also look at too is with growth and with time in this world, everything gets better. People get more experienced and skilled, and there's more opportunities as time passes and as these years go.
Yes.
So if there's people that have came behind me but maybe now are even doing it at my level or better than me, I'm proud of them. I'm happy for them. I want those people to keep succeeding, and it is based on their ability. It's based on the opportunity they've had, and I like to think I've had some influence on helping that person grow, and that makes me feel really good about what I have had to sacrifice in my life, which is a lot of time and some fun and some things that other people may be enjoying when I'm in the building phase of my career.
Fun is subjective. If this is fun for you, because I
this
love
is
being
fun.
here.
No, this is fun. I love what I do, or else I wouldn't go so hard on it. And there's different chapters in people's lives, and I've realized now the scale of what's available, and I've had some success. And I realize I'm just scratching the surface, and there's so many levels to go. And one thing about me that I need to remind myself is to continue to have gratitude in the process of where you came from.
Yes.
Right?
You
When
forget
I was
about
tending bar at Eddie V's.
Yeah.
And now we're going in having 10K dinners.
Yeah.
And
amazing, right?
And I'm signing the check. And that is a privilege.
Right. It's so easy to look around you when you're in a room full of millionaires, decamillionaires, billionaires, and say, wow, I suck. But if you think about old you, how proud you would have been looking forward a couple of years, it's inspirational. And I think about that all the time. It's a great insight.
Inspiration is what it's all about. Success is important. It's more of a personal endeavor. And I believe taking the next step into greatness is your ability to inspire other people.
Yeah.
And that only comes through action. Words are impactful, but it really has to do with action and consistency and character. And some of the adverse situations even I've dealt with in my life, I think have strengthened my character and have bolstered my ability to be able to lead people and gain more followership in the process.
Right. Character, personal branding. You mentioned a couple really key things there. I'd love to dig in and learn a little bit about what makes you a great leader.
Sure.
There's a lot of different leadership styles that you hear about. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. It sounds like you're a leader that likes to get in the trenches, likes to lead by example, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about some of the things that you do, the practices, the rituals that inspire, that motivate, that help you recruit, that got you to 220 sales members in 3 years. That's amazing.
Absolutely. So leading by example is exactly right. And we have a very turnkey operation. It is a very duplicatable, replicatable, teachable process. People need to have the buy-in. So if we start with how do we bring people into the opportunity, I mentioned a couple platforms we use to recruit, right? Now, I need 110% buy-in from the individual that they want to be part of everything that we're about on Maxed Out. They're going to get 110% of what we offer if that's the case, which is a hell of a lot. So clear communication and an expectation meeting that we do, multiple meetings with a new agent or prospect, I should say, about joining the team, talking about where they're at financially, talking about where they're at in their time in their life, kids, significant others, what their goals are, talking about their mindset, giving them clear expectations of the adversity they will face, the rejection, the overcoming objections, the getting hung up on, the hardships, the mental roller coaster that can be the life of a salesperson in a industry when you're getting paid based on your performance and there's no base salary. So I give really clear expectations there so there's no surprises later, but I also talk about the positive aspects where they can grow, where they can earn, where they can help people, where they can create wealth, where they can fulfill the whys for what their families are. It's really getting to know people on a more intrapersonal level. You can't look at people as numbers and bodies. You have to look at people as people and understand what they care about. Everyone's different. The way you lead people best is understanding what they care about.
Right.
And how you can connect with them and communicate effectively. So it starts there on an entry level before they even walk in the door.
I love that you ask those personal questions when you're talking to somebody coming in.
Got to dive deep. And I'm brutally transparent, and I need the same in return. I want to know where you're at financially in your life. I want to know the mistakes you've made. I want to know things you don't want to tell me in an interview, and you think it might disqualify you. I might honestly respect it more and build that trust right off the first conversation. So a lot of those things, being open book is really important. Now, let's say we do decide to do business together. You need to get a license through the state of Florida. It's a 215 license, health, life, and annuities. Gives you the ability to be able to sell private health insurance. We come in there in a training program. It's a runner's program where their main objectives are learning scripts, products, skill set, mindset, tonality, psychology of sales, medical underwriting, how the competitors in the insurance industry work. The agents get hands-on training multiple times a day for at least their first 30 days from their upline, which everyone has 5 leaders that are assigned to their development. Right. So a lot of people that are helping the new agents develop from a hands-on approach. It's not an online tutorial. It's not a here's a script, figure it out. We're in the trenches helping them develop. Their success is our success and vice versa. So when they feel that care and belief from the people that already are making millions of dollars that are successful, that could be sitting back saying, figure it out, but we're staying there late at night, we're caring about what they got going on in their home life, that level of interpersonal connection has their buy-in and their belief, and that helps them perform at a higher level. And then the leads, I spend a lot of money on providing leads to the sales force so they don't have to come out of their pocket to do that. Warm leads, people that are looking for help with insurance. So that is definitely part of the success there too.
How do you think you created that culture where your senior leadership is there late, helping people through their exams and through their training? Anything culturally that you did to influence your company and those habits?
It's definitely working with the right individuals, and sometimes you have to go working with a number of people to really establish the right ones.
Yeah.
And my partners, I could never be in this position, speaking with you right now at the level I'm at, without the help of my team and my leadership team, specifically my upline, my downline. I'm never going to take all the credit. We win together. We can always go further as a team than we can as individuals. So I feel like a selfless leader that is a servant to the people that they're helping build is viewed very well in that person that's coming in as a new agent that wants to be a part of that. We also highly incentivize performance, right? So there is some rah-rah effect in the office setting.
Tell me about the rah-rah.
The rah-rah. So, people hit their milestones and I shout them out. We have a 27,000 square foot office. It's a big pit. It's a sales floor.
It's a massive place.
There's a lot of agents that are working right there in an office setting, and I'm very vocal. And I, project and shout everybody out and go up and give them a hug. We have it on camera. It goes on social media. So give them some posture.
Yeah.
And we take people, they hit their milestones. We buy them a new computer. We take them designer shopping. We take them to a fancy dinner. I get a yacht once a quarter. We just went to Dominican Republic a couple months ago with 200 agents for our competition from last year.
How about you brought everyone?
We bought, this was a couple offices.
Gotcha.
And myself. So a big chunk of that was maxed out. But a couple other offices as well contributed to that trip. But people like praise. People like recognition, and people like competition.
Yes.
So different types of competitions and things, that brackets and things that we'll put together to drive sales competing against each other in a healthy setting. And I think that's really important, is the environment that people are entering. It's a privilege to be in that room. They're getting hands-on training from multimillionaires that are self-made in this industry.
Yeah.
A number of us that are the top leadership. So, if you were to pay for a mastermind to get that type of access, you'd be dropping a lot of dough.
100%.
Right? But these people walk into this getting this training and knowledge because that's part of what we offer, on top of the scripts, on top of the turnkey way to go through the screen shares with clients to help them shop really transparently over the computer. And, when they hit their milestones and they do their things, which we as leaders are responsible to help them do, we highly build them up, recognize them, shout them out, get them things that are important to them. And it may be different. I had one girl hit her stuff. She wanted a Peloton. I had one girl who wants some red bottoms.
They get to decide. You let them pick their own gift.
I do.
I love that.
Based on what they care about most. Some people.
Yeah. And then all of their peers are saying, she just hit that goal and she got a Peloton.
Yep.
Now I can do it. I want a Peloton.
Right. And now that pushes them more to want to win.
Yes, 100%.
And the more we do that, and that takes a lot of investment, but that helps change people's lives and build them up.
And a lot of energy as a leader.
A lot of energy.
I don't lead like that personally. I wish I had more energy during the day to get in the sales team and bang the bell and yell and stuff. It's awesome. Reminds me of the football team. Do you think that played any role as captain, like inspiring the team, getting them juiced up?
Yeah, when everyone maybe needs a little kick in the butt sometimes, right? We're not performing at our level. I'm that voice that's going to lay the line down. And that can be viewed in different ways. And I think when you give the other perspectives to show, how much I care about them, how much I've sacrificed to be here, how much the people before me have sacrificed to even let me be here.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle, and they understand that sometimes when you have to lay the line down a little bit and have accountability as business partners, they understand it's coming from a good place and it's only wanting to help them grow and succeed more. I feel way, way, way more purposeful now and way more fulfilled, Jay, when the new agents and the leaders and the people that I've had any influence on are winning in this world than even my own wins. And that's part of growth. And I know that I have a lot of levels to go, but I've seen personal development over the last couple of years being a part of this opportunity, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah.
I'm even grateful for the mistakes and the hardships and the adversity, because sometimes it makes you appreciate more how good it is what you have.
Yeah, and the growth is the funnest part in my opinion, and seeing the people that you've hired and started from nothing with broken lives and broken dreams build something and just turn their life around. They wouldn't have done that without you.
I have people come in. I got kids that didn't graduate high school that make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I got guys that left practicing medicine, running their own clinic as a physician, to come join this team because they make more money and they like the culture better. So, people have different things that they care about. And that's what I try to establish early in that meeting, in an onboarding phase, of what do you care about most? Because some people, it's not all the money in the world. It's just taking care of their family. It's getting out of credit card debt. It's taking care of their sick mom. It's giving their kids a better life, to have a private school and have a better path than they did, whatever it may be. But if I know about those things early and can identify those things, I can help people achieve these goals. And if I ask their permission, Jay, to hold you accountable, to reach your goal, sometimes I'm going to have to get in your ass a little bit and keep you on track.
It's a great question. Can I hold you accountable to reach your goal?
Asking their permission to hold them accountable. They're making the decision, not me. I'm just holding up to my end of the bargain.
I love that. I'd love to touch on personal branding a little bit and how it relates to leadership. Not everybody shows up in a three-piece suit everywhere they go that matters. That's not easy to do, especially in Florida. And as a leader, I love that because it does establish I've got my shit together. I'm in a position of power. I took the time to do this. Explain to me your personal brand, how important it is to you, and why you think it's important for leadership.
So Monday through Friday, I'm in a three-piece custom tailored suit, and it sets the tone for what they're a part of. I'm bringing people into this opportunity. I probably sit 120 to 150 people a week over 3 days in group informationals in our office to hear about the opportunity. And when the leadership team's calling them one by one to break into their one-on-one interviews, they look around and see the space they're a part of. Everything's important. The temperature, the lighting, the cleanliness, the way the assistants smile, dress, the way the sales force looks. When they hit their incentives, I'm buying them a Louis Vuitton tie, belt, shoes, bossing up the whole sales force, not just me. And it's impactful in numbers, but of course, if I'm the head of the team, it starts with me. Right. So it's a trickle-down effect. That's a lot of where it's coming from. Also, I've talked about this before, whether it's me or anybody, when you look in the mirror every day when you get up, how do you feel? And I could be in a T-shirt, and I'm going to feel very confident and succlsuccessful. And
love to see you in a T-shirt.
High ability. I wear T-shirts on the weekends. Monday through Friday, I'm in the suit. I'm in casual type of gym, clothes on the weekend for sure. But when myself or the leader, agent, whoever is a part of the sales force is looking at themselves as a business professional, that they are running a business, especially when they're new. I like to have that shift maybe from what they're coming from before. They maybe take themselves a little bit more seriously, or they believe in themselves more for their ability to perform. And I'll be honest with you, in the space I'm in now, every day I'm in a high rise. Every day I'm in the elevator. What do you do, man? I'm in Starbucks. What do you do, man?
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't have to say a word. I just have to walk in the room and it's a conversation starter. And I know I have an opportunity to help people change their lives. But all you got to do, Jay, is ask me what I do. And if I show up in a three-piece suit, you're probably going to say, hey, man, nice suit. Or what do you do? Or what, and it's going to start a conversation.
It's true. You got the diamond watch, the bracelet. I would 100% ask what you do. And I imagine that's a superpower when you're out in the world recruiting. You're looking for good talent, just like they recruited you out of the restaurant. People are going to ask what you do, assume that you're successful because you're wearing an expensive suit, expensive jewelry. Conversation starter for sure.
And all different sorts of people. It could be the the people that are not in the financial position that they want to be currently, or it could be coming in with 20 agents and leaders to a winner's dinner at Eddie V's or Ocean Prime or Meat Market or wherever we're going. And the people that are already in a position of doing pretty well in their life, they're paying attention now. Yeah. And just because they're doing well doesn't mean I can't offer them a position that could possibly improve their current situation. So I have a vast variety of people that will come in and join the sales force. Some have had a lot of success in other fields and are in a position financially where they're more than stable, but they're attracted to the culture. The transfer of energy across, the human race and across two individuals or groups that are talking together is extremely impactful. And I'm a big energy person. And that's a lot of the feedback I've got in some of the speaking engagements and things I've done. I do ramp ups, and even my individual teams within my organization do ramp ups, which is a 15, 20-minute exercise when we get everybody in the room and we build up that energy. If someone that's leading that, I do a mindset with Max. It is a Zoom call, kind of a podcast style, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. And that's an hour-long call where I'll go over mindset piece and talk about different aspects of mindset that can be impactful in life and in our business to kind of remind people about. Sometimes we overlook.
These two things sound really cool. I'd love to talk about Ramp Up and then the Mindset podcast.
Sure.
What is that? Do you do it every time? Do you invite everybody? What is the structure?
Yeah, so everybody I maxed out. It's a Zoom link that we get that we do bi-weekly Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And I'll take about the first 30 minutes and talk about different aspects of mindset that I have on a slideshow, and I'll break down by definition what influence means. What belief means. What I could go through a number of different mindset pieces.
Right. Different stuff every time.
Different stuff.
Is everybody on this call?
Everybody's on this call. Different stuff, and it's a choice. It's a choice to be on the call. If you don't
make it
go,
optional, but they show up.
It's optional. I would say 85% of the sales force shows up.
Impressive.
So they show up because they know they can learn, and that's the growth mindset we need to have. And I'll have a guest speaker that's one of our leaders for the second half, and they'll touch more on the skill set aspect. And different people are stronger in different areas of sales, and that's why we complement each other so well as a leadership team. So I'll touch on the mindset piece first. I'll get some engagement from the audience and the viewers, and then I'll bring in one of my leaders that's going to touch on a skill set piece, and they'll talk about different avenues where we can improve or touch on things to get better. I'll do a little Q&A at the end. I'll raffle off some leads. So it's an engaging exercise for sure. People give a lot of great feedback on it, and that's what keeps me pushing. It takes time to plan. It takes time to be prepared.
Not a lot of leaders teach personal development to their team, so kudos to you. I think it's so important.
And just trying to be adaptable and know that change is inevitable.
Right.
And as much as we are performing at the highest level in anybody in America in the private health insurance space by far, we can still get better. We still have opportunities to grow, and I'm never going to get this comfortable. I made it. I know that there's so much more, and we got to stay hungry no matter how much success that we have. And that's the mindset I want them to work with as well. Because some people,
growth is happiness. If you're not growing, there's no way to be 100%.
Happy. What about people that have never earned before, and they come and they start making $5K paychecks, and their rent's paid for 2 months? They could just sit back, take the week off, go out and party, take a little vacation. That is not how we operate.
Good.
The people at the top that are earning the most, they're going to be the last guys and girls in there. And that's leading by example, and that's staying hungry, never getting too high or too low. There's a lot of emotion that can come into these type of things,
in
right?
Sales for sure.
And you got to stay level-headed and even keel and not get too high or too low, because consistency is the key, Jay. It really is.
Longevity. You got to not burn out.
Correct. So there has to be that work-life balance. That's something I struggled with initially in this onset of this career. That's something that I educate others about, is to not get burned out. You need at least a day and a half a week where you need to be away from the workplace. You need to spend time with loved ones, friends, do things that fulfill you, meditation, exercise, nature, sunlight, whatever it may be that helps you.
Yeah, everybody's got their own.
Everything's got their own thing, but
their own requirements,
their
own specific requirements.
But when I see people working a little bit too hard, burn out a little bit, I say, hey man, take a couple days, man.
Good.
Because that's important as well. And you got to have your outside life as great as it can be to perform at your highest level in the workplace. I put a lot of emphasis on acknowledging the spouses and the families that sacrifice a lot to let their loved ones spend the amount of time it takes to be successful, especially when you're building this career. So you have to care about all the things, not just the people in the room. And that goes back to understanding what people care about most so you can provide them the most value.
That's a good gem for leaders listening too. Acknowledge the spouses, especially if people are putting in long hours. It can be taxing. We used to do that in medical school and residency too. They'd be like, tell your significant other to strap in. It's going to be a long 3 years.
And inviting them to be part of things, because a lot of times you spend 10, 12 hours a day at work, and the person who's working comes home and they want to talk about it, but the spouse, they're not part of it. They're not as engaged, right? It doesn't resonate with them the same way. So sometimes bringing them to teams outings and meeting some of the leaders and letting them feel a little bit more comfortable with their husband or wife is spending time with and who they're spending time with all day, right? Helps them be more engaged and a part of what we consider a family. And I know there's a lot of people, but when we all have the same mission of helping and serving our community and building each other up, the buy-in and the belief is real. And I think that's what it takes to continue to succeed at this level.
Being under the same roof helps a lot too.
It does.
I want to ask you about the ramp up period that you do before you get into work. And then I want to touch quickly on recruiting.
Okay.
And then finally, the passive income thing. I want to hear the pitch for those listening that are interested in leaving their careers as doctors to work with Maxed Out. Tell me about the ramp up phase. What do you do to get the crew pumped up and ready to sell?
So sometimes I'll lead it. Sometimes my partners that are leaders will lead it as well, because like I said, we can all bring different things to the table.
Yeah.
But there's some accountability in the beginning. I like to do things.
Is this an in-person meeting?
This is an in-person, in the training room, whole group setting with 1 or 2 people leading the ramp up. And initially, we're going to address some things that maybe we are doing well. We're going to sometimes in the middle get to where we need to improve. And this comes to a ramp up setting. This comes to a one-on-one setting as well, about a compliment sandwich, as I like to call it. Sometimes when there's area for improvement, we got to start to get the person listening with something they're doing well, something that's working positively, right? And get their energy right. Then we might get to that shit in the middle, which is, where can I improve? Where can I hold myself more accountable? Where am I maybe not performing at the best level that I could? And then ending things on a high note. So, and getting their energy back up to go out there and crush it and do well. So in the ramp up, it's a similar practice where, we grab their attention and build them up, bring some things out there in terms of accountability where we can improve and do better, and then bring that energy. And some of that is going to be calling people out, giving lead money out, incentives out. Some of that is playing an inspirational something that they saw from Eric Thomas or Ed Milet or whoever it may be, because as much as we do this at a high level, there's many, many other talented people out here in this world that have done it for years and years and years at an extremely high level. And if they inspire me, or they inspire Brian Fuller or Parita Patel or AJ Baker, Chad Douglas, Jason Greif, any of my close business partners, and I think it's good to share that with other people. Sometimes hearing the same message from a different mouth has a tremendous impact.
It does.
And I've seen that pay dividends and have a lot of influence in the past on the sales force. So that's more the thought of ramp up, is getting that energy back up to go out and crush the rest of the day. Maybe turn your glass half empty mindset into the glass half full, and just realizing, what you're a part of and how much opportunity you have to help people. So just a transfer of positive energy and getting that, feeling of winning back into the sales force is definitely the methodology behind the ramp up.
I like the framework of compliment sandwich too. I think that's something a lot of people would find value in any meeting that they're in. You want to start on a positive note. If there's anything negative or anything constructive that you have to say, maybe do it in the middle. You never want to end on that negative note.
Correct.
So compliment sandwich.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Yep.
Let's talk about recruiting. You were recruited out of an Eddie V's. They saw something in you. And I do this all the time now as an owner. Anywhere I'm out in the world, whether I'm checking out at the Publix grocery line or I'm having a nice dinner, and I see a waiter or waitress that really impresses me, I think immediately, like, holy shit, I gotta hire that person. They'd make a great salesperson. They'd make a great BDR.
Right.
What do you look for out in the world when you're recruiting, when you're going over resumes? What makes a great sales rep to you?
Initially, you've heard me talk about this already, but it's definitely about energy, whether it's the person that's washing my car, the person that's parking the car, the person that's serving the dinner, person at the gym that's welcoming you in. But that energy, that positive mindset is a big part of what I look at initially. And that's a basic thing. It's also about hustle. It's about grit. It's about wanting to do the most, wanting to be the best, catering, going that extra mile. I remember when I was a bartender, I would have my regulars, I'd have their whole setup before they walk in the door, have their drinks ready, know what their orders are, cater to them specifically, small details, very detail oriented, people that pay attention to those things and go the extra mile.
Right. Go above and beyond when you really don't have to.
Yeah, when you don't have to.
That's what I see too.
But I pay so much attention to those things, and I really appreciate those things. So initially it's going to just be even the greeting of, the energy and the enthusiasm that you have. And honestly, in the industry I'm in sales, how do you speak? Are you articulate? Do you have tonality? Do you have attractive personality? And, people that are fit, people that have been in sports, these people translate very well.
Right.
So I'm giving anyone an opportunity that checks all the boxes of the intangibles we discuss at an expectation meeting that it's a good fit for, regardless of if they have these initial attractive things that I'm looking for. But if I were just to be out there at a cocktail hour, at a dinner, at a football game, whatever it is, if you're outgoing and have a good personality and you have a work ethic,
you'll recruit them.
I will offer them an opportunity to come in and see if it's a good fit for them. I never push it hard on people.
Right.
A lot of the recruiting I like to do, and the way I do it and the way I dress and carry myself, is to have that inbound ask.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, hey, you'd be a great fit for this, come on in. I'm more just presenting myself the way I am and getting that question about, what do you do, Max?
It's like that scene from Wolf of Wall Street.
Right. Show me your check. And I say, come in. And after we go through these group informationals, talk about what our company's built on, which is hope, which is helping other people every day. Talk about the residual income opportunity. Talk about the culture, the people you're doing it with. We show people's paychecks. I sit there and I show agent by agent, new agent, old agent, leader, what this really looks like. No smoke and mirrors. If this isn't for you, it isn't for you. Most people, it's not going to be for.
Right. That type of transparency in a company is, I feel like, dangerous, but can also be a weapon.
It can be dangerous, but when you have the consent of the people whose checks you're showing,
this is the culture,
and this is the culture of what we're about, there's no BS. This is what it is.
Yeah.
If you buy into this and you have everything accurate that we talked about in this expectation meeting, it's not if you are going to be successful here, Jay. It's just when. People develop at different levels, at different rates. And I wasn't the quickest, and I use that example sometimes, the people that aren't killing it out the gates.
Yeah.
But some of those people turn around, and they're actually some of the most influential people in the business, in the space. And, I've taken one of my really great friends, who actually I'm going to be the best man in his wedding this weekend. His name's Brian Fuller. Thank you. And he was a bodybuilder. He didn't have much money, didn't have much confidence, extreme introvert. Not someone that I look at initially saying, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy to succeed here. But what do bodybuilders have? They have discipline. They have consistency. They have that competitive, hungry nature. And they hold themselves to the highest standard. So with the right coaching and the right being a part of the right room and opportunity and having the right influence on that person, I help them grow a lot. But they are extremely smart individual and innovative, and I could go on and on about all the accolades that Brian's accomplished, but seeing him step into running a big team within my organization and having this great influence on others, it's like paying this forward in generations of the career opportunity, if you will, from the leaders that helped me, to me helping Brian, to Brian now helping people under him, and those people helping even newer people. It's just beautiful for me to see, and that's part of the build that I care so much about and I sacrifice a lot for in terms of time in my life, because this is my passion. And we have different chapters in our lives, no doubt, but at this time and for the near future, I'm extremely committed to doing this at the highest level and continuing to reach new heights.
Yeah, it's funny to think about how young we are as entrepreneurs and what is to come.
Right.
Exciting looking out into the future and seeing people who have been consistent in the same thing for 20, 30 years, what that compounds to. Very exciting.
I know.
And you mentioned 6 streams of income within your company. Tell me about those.
So first one is weekly commissions, which is being paid based on your performance. That's 52 times a year, every Friday on an EFT. So you definitely earn weekly. You get earned monthly. you earn quarterly. Part of the products that we help clients into does pay out quarterly. And there's also quarterly bonuses. So you're at 4 right there. There's also annual bonuses, which are massive. And there is the passive residual when the clients continue to keep their products. So there's at 6. The nice thing is you don't have to re-sign people up or anything like that. The products just stay intact until the client wants to change it.
Right. That's one thing that I feel like once somebody signs up, I don't know what my life insurance is.
Right.
I'm probably never going to change it.
Right. You just keep it moving. It's on an auto draft. And we provide the highest level of customer service. I always educate agents that answering your phone for someone needing customer service is actually an opportunity, not only to reinforce that you are doing what you said you were going to do at the time of sale, that you're going to be their advisor for the lifetime of their policy, and you're going to be there to help them with whatever they may need moving forward in the future. So answer your phone or answer the text message and help a person with an ID card or a doctor's visit or a hospitalization or whatever it may be. Right. Also, what happens when we do this? The client,
their friends.
Correct. And when you develop inbound business with a strong referral base, the game changes. And that's what I have done. Yeah. And that's what a lot of my top people, including Brian, have done. So when you ethically are doing the right thing by people and getting them in the right position, whether it's with our product portfolio or not, even if it's a referral out somewhere else of people we know in the industry to really help the person or individual or small business, family, whatever it may be, the best, they send you business back because they trust you. Yeah. It's about trust and transparency and building rapport with people. And when they like you, when you find commonalities with them and you really help them solve whatever situation they may be in, they send you referral business, and that's a gift that keeps on giving. It may be their mother, brother, sister, friend, business partner, whatever it may be. And you can plant a seed and grow a whole forest.
Right. There's a few products in the world that I think are very reliant on know, like, and trust. Mm-hmm. I think insurance is one of them.
Absolutely.
So being reliable, being somebody that I look at and immediately I want to do business with them. I want to be their friend. I want to trust them. I think is really important. I think that's probably why the personal brand probably helped you so much as you were growing and building your book. Do you think that's important for your insurance sales reps to keep in mind? Are they doing the personal brand thing?
Yeah. So I just got into really working on my social media platform about a year ago. So this has came up pretty quickly. It's definitely taken money and time and some frustrations and some learning experiences, but that is the way of this world. Everyone's on social media, and when you can reach more people through that avenue, they're watching, they're listening, and if you can provide them value for free and give them free game, now that you have their followership. So it starts with me and these top people I can talk about, Brian Fuller, Preeta Patel, a number of my top leaders that are getting into that space and succeeding, that has shown that it's possible to these other people to have a great influence, not only with helping people get business and helping them generate new clients, but also primarily in the recruiting avenue and bringing people into the opportunity, seeing the lifestyle, seeing the culture, seeing the sales meetings. We have a sales meeting in a movie theater in an auditorium with myself and one other team, over 300 agents every Friday at 4 p.m. And it is hype and it is great energy. And we give out all the recognition, the accolades from the previous weeks, games, leads, incentives. We give out once a month about $20,000 back to the community. We're definitely philanthropic. We just did Hands Across the Bay for domestic violence. We did the Phoenix House for drug and alcohol rehab. We've done the wheelchairs for kids that are outgrowing their wheelchairs to get them, medical equipment and things. So definitely giving back to the community. I mean, if we're hitting this from all angles and doing right by others, it's going to attract the right people.
Yes.
And I'm a firm believer in that. So social media has been something we've used to reach more people. And now I'm trying to pay that forward onto the newer agents and leaders and show them that you need to expand and push yourself and get a little bit uncomfortable. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable sometimes and get outside of your box. And that's how we grow. And showing what I've done, and I feel like I'm just scratching the surface there. And there's a lot of influencers and things that I look up to and continue to learn from.
Yeah, a year on social media is not that long.
Right.
You've come a long way in a year. It's impressive.
Right, I appreciate that.
Very cool.
I want to move into the avenue in Q1 of 2024 of developing my own podcast, Maxed Out, and being able to bring on my leaders and agents as examples and case studies, if you will, as to what this opportunity's meant to them, and let them be brutally honest and transparent about their ups, their downs, about exactly what it's been, and show that we are doing this by committee. And there are dozens and dozens and hundreds of people whose lives have changed from stepping into this industry, stepping into this team, and applying themselves in the right vehicle that has helped them change their life. And I think as that progresses, we can work with more people in the community. I like to collaborate and cross markets and provide other people in our community business and value. And I think that really builds a strong foundation in our community for generations to come.
Yeah.
So I think that's important and impactful, and that's definitely a focus moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it sounds like a dream come true for a lot of people. The hype, the money all sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot of people listening right now that are like, damn, I want to be on Maxed Out sales team.
That's right.
What is life actually like inside the sales team? What is the day-to-day? And I'd love to hear the pros and cons, not just how awesome it is, but like what struggles can they?
Let's start with the cons. Sacrifice of time.
Yeah.
An investment
How much time
into
are we
yourself.
talking about?
8 to 8, Monday through Friday. So that's 60 hours right there.
That's a lot of time.
Yep. That's a lot of time. How bad do you want it? How successful do you want to be? I got guys there till midnight by choice. They don't need to be. But my expectation, if we're sitting down and going over transparent expectations, 8 to 8 Monday through Friday, half days on Saturdays for the first 3 to 6 months of your career based on performance. Now, you're self-employed, Jay. So you're 6 months into this and you're kicking ass and you understand the underwriting, you're writing ethical business, your numbers are great. You can come in whenever you want, man. You can work in Hawaii if you want. You need a cell phone and a laptop. And I have people that travel all over the country. I got people that I see twice a year, but they're veterans and I trust them and they know how to do this at a high level.
Yes.
So in the entry phase of your career, for the first 3 to 6 months, you need to eat, sleep, and breathe this and learn the game from some of the most successful people in the industry. And
Salary, commission, what are we looking
completely commission. You have no base, but you create a base when you create your book, right? Because that continues to pay you passively.
Right.
So initially, you're earning based off commission, and then you generate your book of business, which creates that base, which is the residual. You're in trainings. You're calling leads of people that are looking for insurance quotes that are warm leads that need help with coverage.
Yeah.
And you're reaching out and you're providing them value, understanding their situation. I teach a lot on the psychology of sales, on understanding how people think, on active listening, on discovery, on fielding the right information so you know the pain points on how you can provide people value. Mm-hmm. And we have great products. When you have great products, it makes it extremely easy to help.
It makes
people.
life a lot easier.
I mean, I have our own products. I have family members on our products. I have dozens and dozens of families and business owners and friends across the Tampa Bay community and the country on our products. So that speaks for itself.
Yeah, it makes the sales part a lot easier.
Of course.
You're not selling.
They're not buying the product.
Right.
They're buying Max. They're buying Jay. They're buying whoever they're speaking with, that they trust them to get them in the right position and be there to service them as you progress. And as you build that relationship, you help them with things. They help you with things. I like to know about what people's industries are so I can try to send them referrals. The best way to get a referral is to give one.
100%.
We know that. So realistically, the more people that we can reach, the more people we can educate as to what is available here. It may not be the right fit. Timing is real. If you got a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 4-year-old, you're a single mom or dad, you don't have your finances together, it's probably not the right time. Right? If you're about to get married and you got a lot of other focuses on it, maybe it's not the right time. That's real. We do a start class the first Monday of every month.
When is it the right time?
Just because it's not the right time now doesn't mean it may be right later. And also, when is ever the right time for change, Jay? It's never perfect.
There's always going to be an excuse.
It's always going to be an excuse. It's never the right time. But if we have that expectation meeting and go over things very transparently about where you're at financially, where you're at with the spend of time in your life, what your goals and aspirations and habits and rituals are, and definitely where your mindset's at. And are you coachable? Are you ethical? Are you hungry? That's what I need to know.
Right.
If you're checking the boxes there, I will teach you the game. You just got to want it. So realistically, once they come in and they buy into that sacrifice of time and into the mission of what we're helping people do and to get into the best position with their coverage, they got to put some grind in. They got to have some grit. They got to get up when they get knocked down. They got to pick up the phone when they get hung up on. They got to keep going when there's a deal that falls through. You can't sit there and say boo-hoo. It doesn't help you. That doesn't help you help the next person. So resilience and overcoming adversity and just mental fortitude is extremely important in this business. And even if people don't have it right out of the gates, the leadership team helps them find that and believe in themselves and believe in the opportunity. Once they have that buy-in, it's on.
So we heard the cons. We've got coming
The
in.
pros.
It's gonna be long hours. It's going to be
Long hours, some sacrifice of time. Anyone that wants to be successful running a business, we're business partners. And I invest heavily, and the leadership team invests heavily into your business. And you can succeed at a high level with little to no investment of your own. But I got an agent, they start making $5K a week. Max, that girl's making $7K. That guy's making $12K. That guy's making $25K a week. How do I do that? Invest in your business in the right avenues, which we have to show people. So it takes money to make money.
Yes.
And having that entrepreneurial mindset of running a business, profit and loss sheets, multiple avenues of how we can prospect, follow-up systems, being really organized, sticking to it, adhering to a schedule. Those are all really important things we teach, and you have to invest in your business to take it to the next level as well. If we're talking about pros, I can go on and on and on. Let's talk about how much money we earn. A significant amount of money. Why? How is this possible? How is it not too good to be true? 2 words: medical underwriting. We're not insuring everybody in America. We're insuring people that do not have a bunch of cancer, heart attack, stroke, medical conditions. If you're the insurance company and you're being selective on who you're letting into your risk pool for insurance, you're mitigating your risk for major claims.
Yes.
Okay. So when you have a healthier demographic, they're not costing the insurance company as much money in claims,
Of course.
which means the insurance company can compensate the sales force more. Makes sense, right? So we help individuals, we help families, we help small businesses. Private insurance options are tax write-offs. So small business owners definitely like that, people that are self-employed. I have dozens and dozens and probably hundreds of real estate agents that I've been able to help over the years, and many other 1099 contractors in different spaces. So the people that you're helping, the people that you're connecting with is definitely a pro to the opportunity. The income you're making, the passive residual income, the 6 income streams. To me, people come for the cash, they stay for the culture. When you're making a significant amount of money already and you could do this from home, some people could sit there in their pajamas. But why do they come in and get ready and put their 3-piece suit on, or their dress on, or their makeup on, or their heels on, or whatever? Because they want to be a part of the energy. Energy is magnetic if it's the right kind, and people attract to it. And we have the juice in the sales force right now that people are attracting to. So that is a huge pro of the opportunity. The incentives, the recognition, the winning together with other people, the giving back to your family or the community, or having financial freedom. So you can choose what you want to do and do good with that. And I also believe the leadership. People attract to the leadership, not just myself. We do this by committee. But when you have a group of winners that are running an organization, and we've had a duplicatable, replicatable, turnkey operation that we can plug people into, and they can change their lives with their right type of commitment and dedication and time that they give up to do it. It's a how bad do you want it question. We have the vehicle to do this.
Right. Giving people the keys to build whatever life that they want. That's a hell of a pro. There's not a lot of opportunities like that I've heard of, where you can train somebody, incentivize them, put them in a room full of people like them who are crushing it with them. Kind of like a football team growing up.
It is, and it's very diverse.
Yeah.
Different ages, different races, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different stories. Some came from success, some came from, rags to riches type of story. So I feel like the diversity also in the team is attractive to people.
Yeah. I saw some of the stories, the transformations that people have went through, and that's unbelievable. So this is probably resonating with a lot of people listening right now. So if it does, and you're
absolutely
kind of ready to put in the work, what are the next steps?
I mean, the next steps are reaching out to me, getting on my Instagram, which is _maxed.out. So _maxed.out. There's a Calendly link there on my links in my bio. where you can schedule a career opportunity discussion.
Does that go to you?
That goes right to me.
Oh, baby.
You click on that. It's a 15-minute phone call. You're right on my schedule. You'll get a confirmation about that. I'll call you on time, and you'll get direct access to me, and we'll talk about your life. And we'll have a transparent communication, just like we're talking about here, if it's a good fit and if it's the right time for us to move forward to do business together and partner. So that is how to take the next steps. I have a website, which is www.maxwillet.com, MAXWILLETT. That gives you some insight as to how the team runs, what the culture is, what the ways to earn are. It gives you testimonials from clients. It gives you background of different leaders that have developed there. It gives you access to every leader on my team. And you can research that and do all the homework you want to do prior to our discussion. I encourage it. So those are ways to connect with me. I offer people to come in and shadow and come to a sales meeting and see what a day-to-day is and see if it's a good fit. We're extremely transparent. What is our most valuable commodity in this world? It ain't money, it's time. So I'll give you my time, and you're being generous giving me yours, and we'll spend that together in the sales environment, seeing if it's a good fit for us to work together. And that's what I offer to anyone that really wants to change their life.
I appreciate that, Max. We'll link your website, maybe even your calendar link down in the show notes there. So if you're looking for an opportunity to speak with Max, and as I guarantee it, a year or two from now, you're not going to be on this guy's calendar. So take advantage of it while you still can. Max, I want to thank you for coming in, checking out the new studio. I know you've been here.
Beautiful.
In the
Great
past.
studio, Jay, by the
Thank
way.
you, brother.
It's awesome.
It's coming together.
It is.
I'm excited to see the operation that you throw together for your Maxed Out podcast.
Yeah,
Very
I'd love to
exciting.
have you in the office at any time. And when they get that thing up and running, I would be privileged to have you on as a guest. So I appreciate it.
It would be an honor, Max. Thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Jay.
All right. That was